a story.
When I was a kid, all I ever wanted was to be part of a normal family.
You're wasting your time. The company's a dinosaur.
Your dad is supposed to be taking care of us.
You are no BG, Plum.
I could be.
And I am Coco Chanel.
We can't build up a girl's hopes. We have to be realistic about her place in the world.
Her place.
I've lived in Scarborough for 20 years now.
You're practically one of us. We have rights. We fight for her.
You're not here to make political statements. You're here to get an
I'm
education.
not the one who needs educating, Nat.
You could have walked out across the line with me.
You could have told me the roof over our head was threatened.
You've never been scared like this.
Can't stop living. Even when we're scared.
Our love is alive. So it begins. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in. Our love is a flame.
The space age is our age.
Burning within.
This is our dream.
It's your dream.
Now and then, find connections, stumbling in.
Different worlds, different lives, everything changing.
Now, do you want to hear my story or not?
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for the last days of the space age with all 8 episodes premiering on October 2nd on Hulu. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk about all things last days of the space age are the stars, Radha Mitchell, who plays Jodie Bissett, and Jesse Spencer, who plays Tony Bissett. Thank you both so much for your time. It is a pleasure to speak with you both. I'm an American and I've never visited Australia, but I always had a fascination to visit. And what I love about this series is that I'm getting some Australian history. What was it like for you both stepping into 1979 Australia? If I can start off with that, what was it like for you both as Australian actors to be giving life to this story? If I can start with you, Radha.
It was really exciting to head back to 1979. I mean, that was what was exciting to me about the script, was this invitation to time travel, you know. I grew up in the 70s in Australia. I hadn't been living there for so long. So to go back and get a bit nostalgic about things that I am a bit nostalgic about was like a great invitation. And we got to actually relive it, you know, and go there and do it. And so that was a real pleasure for me. What about you?
Yeah. I think you were a baby, Jesse. Weren't you born in 79?
Yeah, I was born in 79. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great year. Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, there's something very nostalgic about it. I think stepping back, you know, you put those jackets on and I sort of, you know, I feel like my dad. And, you know, it was just a brilliant time. I think it's sort of an age of innocence a little bit as well. It was a changing time. Things were much simpler back then, but you know, society was evolving and changing, and we tried to bring, you know, a lot of these elements into the show.
Yeah, it was a time when we had time. You know, there was time to get bored. We were talking about earlier, like I don't get bored anymore. There's no time. Everything is so busy. Your brain is so activated. You're either on Instagram or this or that, or you're in some activity. But in the 70s. There was time to just do nothing.
Time to breathe.
Yeah. Time to get bored.
I feel that. Was there a weight that you kind of felt as Australian actors to kind of give life to this time period when you got ready to do your performance? Did that interfere with you all at all?
Yeah.
For any
well, any role you take, I think you try and you know, delve into it, and you know, you want to get the character right and represent the trials and tribulations of, you know, on a personal level to the family level to the societal level. And we had a great cast. Everyone got along really well. whenever I come back to Australia, I feel it's I really feel that sense of how laid back it is.
Yeah. And the kind of fraternity of it.
Yeah.
The Australianness of it, if you've been living overseas.
Right.
Is a really great thing.
This was my first Australian job, I think, in 20 years. So I was so stoked to come back and get into it. And I think we were like worried about American accents because we both work in American so much.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got to work on my Aussie a bit, and make sure that, I don't.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but it was okay. We had time. And I mean, eventually it was like a duck to water. I was like, this is all so familiar. And so, yeah, it was a really good time.
Wonderful. All right. So let's talk about the role itself. What was it like stepping into both Judy and Tony? If I could go back to you, Rudy, stepping into Jodie Picoult and playing this character.
Judy? Judy she's a homemaker, right? Who finds herself outside of the home and sort of finds her stride in this company. But it's a bit unfortunate because he's, they've got a really lovely relationship, but he's on strike against the company. So there's a little bit of kind of friction there. I don't want to give all the plot points away, but it puts them in opposing positions whilst trying to maintain their family dynamic. So that was fun for us to kind of navigate this couple and this sort of power exchange going on in the domestic situation.
Yeah, they're sort of roles, and they have traditional roles, I guess, at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it sort of flips as it goes along. And Tony, my character, is a family man. He's a union leader. He feels he fights, for union precepts and morals, and he feels very strongly about that. Yet Judy is working for this company and has more or less crossed the picket line.
She's crossed the picket line.
So there's stuff between a rock and a hard place.
No, but from her perspective, she's saving. He hasn't told her that. There's issues.
Yeah, they have,
I'm throwing it on y'all because I don't want to spoil it. I can mess up sometimes. So. What was that dynamic like working together? Had y'all worked together before because you play a couple in this? What was that interaction like?
We worked adjacently together, but we'd never done scenes
together. Yeah, I don't think we had. No. Yeah, we'd been in the same sort of
We were on this very
vicinity
TV series in Australia called Neighbours that is still on television, actually. Yeah. And we were joking that when we were on set, actually, for a moment, we were staying in apartments that were like also adjacent. So we were neighbours again.
For while we were shooting in Sydney.
So there was that.
Yeah.
But we never had worked together.
No, we hadn't.
So it was great.
Yeah, but our family dynamic came together really quickly, I think. And we have two teenage daughters, and their characters are very, very different people, and everyone's sort of fighting to find their place in the world. And there's a lot of like the exuberance of youth and teenage enthusiasm and, parents trying to keep their feet on the ground, but encourage their dreams at the same time. And I think our family dynamic came actually really organically. We kind of slipped into it, found our roles really quickly.
Yeah. And it was written really well. Like the,
that always helps, doesn't it?
It's not the perfect family, but it's a very loving family. And you can see that these teenage girls are trying to like, find their own voice, trying to find their own identity, often opposition to their parents. So, but ultimately there's a real sense of love and unity, and I think that's really captured by the whole series. Really, there's a very kind and almost compassionate tone to the way the story is told.
Definitely, and so relatable, I think. Personally, even though like I haven't grown up in 1979 Australia, like I think we all know that no matter where you're at in the world, which is what brings us in. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the four. It's 8 episodes, but I watched the first 4, and I'm just very curious how it's going to all turn out. What do you hope people leave with after seeing all 8 episodes that are premiering all together on October 2nd? If I could go back through with you guys on that, what do you hope people take away from Last Days of Space Age?
That's a good question.
It's a multi-generational show, so I'm hoping that everybody relates to it on a different level, like wherever they're kind of at. But I'm hoping that, the story speaks to change, and the sense that people's lives are changing and the world around them is changing. And that's quite confronting, but that you do see that they're going to make it through and they're all going to grow, and it's actually going to be a good thing. And I think that's a good message, because I feel like we all have that sense now in the times that we're living, that, oh, wow, this has all been intense and it's moving a bit fast. And how are we going to do the next 10 years even? And I'm sure we will. So I think the movie gives you that positive kind of perspective.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, I totally agree. And as you were saying, the themes are completely universal. You know, it probably, it must be a bit strange watching, you know, for like Americans who are ever watching this, you know, these strange groups of Aussies, but they're very universal themes that they cross all boundaries. You know, and I hope people just really enjoy the show. It's very, it's quite funny, you know. It's I mean, it's a drama, but there's a lot of,
it's got a real quirky tone.
It's got a sort of quirky tone in it, and sort of a real sense of innocence into transformation and maturity. So yeah, we just hope people really enjoy that.
Excellent. Well, everybody, check out Last Days of the Space Age, with all 8 episodes premiering on Hulu on October 2nd. Thank you, Radha. Thank you, Jesse. It is a pleasure chatting with you. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you, Kuya.
Bye, y'all.
That's the one I was trying to do.
Outlet for the clapper and begin your interview straight away.
Awesome. Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. It's a pleasure to chat with you both. I'm going to count us in to help me with my edit. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.